Welcome everyone, my name is Miguel, and in the world of dive watches, there's a fine line between bold and bulky. It's a space where tool watch practicality meets the art of wrist presence, a genre dominated by familiar names like Seiko, Oris, and Longines, to name a few, but every once in a while, a lesser known brand comes along with something unexpected. The Fiyta Yachtsman diver is one of those watches. It's handsome, impressively spec'd for the price, and most importantly, it features one of the most striking dials in this category. Fiyta has quietly been building a strong reputation in Asia for decades, and the Yachtsman is another example of the brand's ability to deliver serious value while infusing its design with character. However, while the watch impresses in many ways, it also comes with some very real limitations, particularly for smaller wrists. Founded in 1987, Fiyta isn't some micro-brand newcomer. It's one of China's most established watchmakers, known for its space program partnership, mechanical innovation, and a surprising deep catalog that ranges from affordable automatics to limited edition timepieces designed for astronauts. Their craftsmanship and attention to detail have earned them respect in their home market, and recently Fiyta has begun to attract international attention. I recently reviewed another one of their watches. I'll leave a link to that video in the description. Now, this watch is designed for enthusiasts who want something distinct yet capable, a mechanical diver that looks premium without the premium price tag. Right now, this watch can be had for $150. It aims to deliver that elusive sweet spot between durability, design, and value. So let's start with the numbers because Fiyta certainly didn't skimp out on the specs here. Now, the case does measure in at 43.4 millimeters. It's 49.7 millimeters from lug to lug. It's 13.2 millimeters thick. Now, from end link to end link, it's 54.5 millimeters. More on that later. The weight with the unsized bracelet is 189 grams. It does have a water resistance of 300 meters. It features a sapphire crystal, a signed screw-down crown, a bracelet that's 22 millimeters, and it tapers down to 20 millimeters at the clasp, and it's using the Miyota 8215 caliber. That's a serious list for the price. On paper, this is a true diver's watch. 300 meters of water resistance, sapphire crystal, screw-down crown, and a solid automatic movement. These are specs that rival watches easily twice its price, and they give the Yachtsman a legitimate foundation to build on. The dial is where this watch really comes alive. It's textured, dynamic, and visually stunning in a way that far exceeds its price point. Depending on the light, the dial almost seems to shift personality. Subtle and professional low light, vibrant under sunlight. The applied indices are neatly executed. However, I'm not a huge fan of the two indices at the 9 o'clock, but the ceramic bezel does frame the dial beautifully, giving it both depth and definition. It's the kind of dial that makes you do a double take. Fiyta clearly took inspiration from the Open Sea, but resisted the temptation to over-design it. The symmetry, the color play, and the way the ceramic bezel interacts with the dial all speak to thoughtful design. In a crowded market of homages, this feels refreshingly original. The unidirectional rotating bezel, by the way, deserves mention. It's ceramic again, an impressive inclusion at this price point, and has a satisfying, confident action. It clicks precisely without the loose play that plagues so many budget divers. Between the sapphire crystal, the ceramic insert, and the level of dial detail, this watch punches well above its weight in visual appeal. Now for the trade-offs. The Yachtsman is, well, quite frankly, a large watch at 43.4 millimeters in diameter and 54.5 millimeters from end link to end link. It wears bigger than the numbers suggest, especially on my 6 and 7/8 inch wrist. It feels substantial, almost overbearing at times. It's not just the diameter. The long bracelet connection amplifies the visual footprint, giving it the stance of a 45 millimeter watch. The bracelet itself looks decent at first glance, but reveals its limitation with closer inspection. The finishing is acceptable. Brushed surfaces and polished highlights give it a nice visual texture, but the feel doesn't quite match the look. The folded clasp feels dated, lacking the solidity or refinement click of higher-end bracelets. It works, but it doesn't inspire confidence. A mill clasp and slightly more flexible links would have gone a long way here. At 189 grams with the unsized bracelet, this watch carries real heft. For some, that's reassuring. After all, dive watches are supposed to feel robust. But for others, especially those with smaller wrists, it can border on fatiguing over long wear. It's one of those watches you feel on your wrists all day, both literally and figuratively. Inside beats the Miyota 8215, a workhorse movement known for its reliability and ease of maintenance. It's not the most glamorous caliber, the rotor can be a bit noisy at times, but it's accurate enough for daily wear and can take a beating. It's a smart, practical choice that keeps the price accessible. The 300 meters of water resistance and screw-down crown make this watch perfectly capable for swimming, snorkeling, or even recreational diving. This is not a desk diver pretending to be tough, it's genuinely built for aquatic adventures. As good as the dial and specs are, this watch isn't without its flaws. The lume, a key component of any diver, feels underpowered. It glows faintly at first but fades quicker than expected, which is disappointing given how strong the rest of the design is. Then there's the case finishing, which is fine but unremarkable. The brushing is consistent but lacks that crisp, refined edge you find on more premium watches. It's functional, not luxurious, and while it's forgivable at this price point, it's worth mentioning. But the biggest issue remains the size. Fiyta nailed the proportions in terms of design symmetry, but the overall footprint makes this watch wear larger than necessary. A 40mm version would likely transform this watch from a bold diver into a near perfect daily wear. It would maintain all the visual presence while improving comfort and wearability dramatically. Look, at the end of the day, the Fiyta Yachtsman diver, it's a paradox in the best possible way. It's a watch that delivers high-end specs at a low-end price, a timepiece that looks and feels like it should cost several times more. The ceramic bezel, sapphire crystal, 300 meters of water resistance, and that absolutely gorgeous dial all make it a compelling value proposition. But it's also a reminder that specs aren't everything. Comfort, proportions, and tactile feel matter just as much, and that's where this watch still has room to grow. For enthusiasts with larger wrists or those who prefer watches with real wrist presence, this is a fantastic option. It's bold, well-made, and unapologetically substantial. For those with smaller wrists, this is not a watch for you. Fiyta has proven once again that they know how to create something visually captivating and mechanically reliable without inflating the price tag. If they can translate this formula into a more compact, refined diver, they'll have a true hit on their hands. Until then, this watch remains a beautifully ambitious, slightly imperfect reminder that even at under $200, there's still room in watchmaking for creativity, craftsmanship, and a little bit of swagger. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Until next time, be safe out there and stay humble.